Good evening, everyone. I'm calling this meeting to order at 7 p.m. Welcome to regular meeting 1429 of the Wachusett Regional School District Committee. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast on Holden TV, channel 194, and holdentv.com. We have two members joining us remotely. Member Brennan, can you hear us? Great. Member Winters, can you hear us? Great, thanks. The next item on the agenda is public comment. We have no one signed up for public comment this evening, so we will move on to the next item on the agenda. At this time, I will accept a motion to enter into executive session to discuss strategy for contract negotiations with all bargaining units. As the chair deems a discussion in public session would have an adverse effect on the district's bargaining position, and to discuss the contract for non-union personnel, Michelle Grisey, Director of Business and Finance, to return to public session. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Thank you. Shannon and Malia. Yep. We will now move to a roll call vote.
Member Borison?
Yes. Member Borson, yes.
Member Klein?
Member Klein, yes.
Member Gavarden?
Member Garden, yes.
Member Kirschenbaum?
Kirschenbaum, yes.
Member Poole?
Oh, yes.
Member Stoika?
Stoika, yes.
Member Beardmore?
Beardmore, yes.
Member Brennan? Member Fisher?
Fisher, yes.
Member Gustafson?
Gustafson, yes.
Member Wallace?
Wallace, yes.
Member Winters?
Winters, yes.
Member Salmon Garrett?
Chair votes yes, and the motion passes. Next on the agenda is chair's opening remarks, right? Yep. Next is chair's opening remarks. I hope teachers and school year staff are having a restful summer and that our full year staff get some time to rest and recharge as well. I'm excited to welcome back Rutland Select Board member Leah Whiteman as our municipal rep. And I thank you for your willingness to partner with us on this important part of our work and our budget. I'm happy to see the superintendent's report address some positive developments on issues that have been discussed many times at this table. I'm excited to hear from Tech Communications Director Barry Sklar about the website that is a key in beginning to address concern about communication in the district. I was also happy to read about improvements in achievement for our students on the math and ELA STAR assessments. As we focus this year on hearing more presentations from our administrative staff, principals, and other school staff, I look forward to hearing more about this in the near future. I feel a duty to address what has been in the news about education lately. At the state level, I want to congratulate the legislature on getting their budget completed by the deadline for the first time in over a decade. It's not easy work, as we know, but they seem to have figured it out, which helps us in the administration move forward with our FY26 budget. I asked Superintendent Riley to address the grants at the federal level that have been withheld by the Department of Education so that we have a clear picture of how those headlines will affect our particular district. And finally, we are all aware of the Supreme Court's decision in the Mahmoud versus Taylor case, which addressed parents' rights to opt children out of curriculum materials based on religious beliefs. We here are not ignorant to that matter, and we will not shy away from addressing it as we work to continually follow all laws and regulations while educating all students in the Wachusett District. The most important law being each Massachusetts student's constitutional right to an education. We will work in coordination with our administration, community, and legal experts to do our best to support all students, families, and our school staff and teachers as they navigate this. We will not act hastily, but we may have things to address here at this table, and we will do so if they come up. And at this time, next is the superintendent's report on the agenda, so I'll pass it over to Dr. Riley.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And so we have a abbreviated superintendent's report tonight. I was briefly going to talk about some financial developments around the budget with everyone, and through the chair, answer any questions that folks may have. And then we were going to defer to Barry, or go over to Barry, who's going to give us a little tooling of our website. So want to share first, we are thrilled as well that the budget was done on a timely basis. And really this last iteration of the budget that was signed by Governor Healy brought somewhat good news from the state level in terms of funding. They've increased our per pupil increase. The minimum will be $150, which is a big increase from what it has been in years past, including even last year. It means that we'll have approximately $500,000 in additional Chapter 70 revenue that we did not originally anticipate when we brought forth the budget. I do think it's important to note that school committee did take a vote about any excess Chapter 70 funds, and that we agreed that we would be taking a vote to return it and reduce town assessments. And so we anticipate there to be some type of formal motion for that at our August 11th meeting. The other news that happened with the budget was circuit breaker reimbursement, which has been increased both for instructional tuition costs. It will be 75%. This year for transportation, it's up to 47%. Next year, it will be 75%. So both of those will serve the district well moving forward when we look at circuit breaker. In terms of regional transportation, we know it was stated that it was increased. We don't have confidence in the numbers to tell everybody. And Michelle and I were talking about this today, and she basically said, we end up knowing what they gave us when we submit it and the state gives it back. I don't think we anticipate it being drastically different from the percentage of last year, but they do continue to try to make an effort to increase it, obviously nowhere near the 100% that was originally promised. The other thing that happened is the governor, as part of signing the budget, she made sure to include a veto package, and what that did, and I'm going to talk about this in a second, is it increased charter school reimbursement funding. And that's not funding for charter schools, it's funding for districts who lose students to charter schools and then are charged a fee because of that. And so that's going to be important, because when I talk about some of the federal initiatives that are going on right now, that could impact the district moving forward. And so that's the next thing I wanted to talk to folks about, are the federal initiatives that right now could place some of our district funding and state funding for schools at risk. The first thing I'd want to note is that we do have several federal grants that the federal government made us aware of on June 30th, so a day before the funds are typically dispersed. They contacted the state of Massachusetts and all the states that they had certain grants that they were placing under review. For us in this district, these are the following grants that would be impacted. Title II, which is typically around building effective educators. Our award in FY25 for that grant was about $101,000. Title III, which is for our English learners. Our award in FY25 was about $25,000 for that grant. Title IV, which is around well-rounded education. Our FY25 disbursement for that grant was $18,000, close to $19,000. So a total of all the grant funds that right now are being held and being reviewed by the federal government, it's about $145,000. And so that would be the impact on the district if ultimately a decision was made that those grants weren't going to be continued. The difference, in terms of what we originally anticipated was we thought some of those grants could potentially be at risk after next fiscal year, but what we had heard early on was that they would be pretty much level funded. So this is a change, and we'll be watching it closely. Our hope is that upon review, they'll disperse the grants as they always had, because this really is going to be a hardship, not only on Wachusett, but quite frankly, it's a bigger hardship for a lot of other districts who receive more funding than we do. But it's concerning nonetheless, especially around the timing that people were informed. There are some federal grants that have been unchanged in FY26. That's Title 1A, which is our support for our low socioeconomic families. Title 1D, which is support for children in state programs. Perkins, which supports vocational education. McKinney-Vento, which supports homeless students. And then IDEA, which is supporting our students with special education. The other two things that we have our eye on that we'll continue to bring information to the committee about is in this latest budget, they're expanding charter school opportunities. And so there's additional money to encourage people to create charter schools. And because of that, they're also, I think, sometimes the opportunities for schools to be out there and perhaps for kids to leave public schools and seek other opportunities is going to be increased. It's hard to tell what the exact impact is going to be, but for us as a district, the things we would want to watch is it could potentially reduce our enrollment in FY27. So when we're building the budget next year, depending on if there's a bunch of charter schools that end up springing up around the place, that's something we'd want to watch. And then for this year, if students, because I think they're going to have opportunities with this new budget, if people want to change and go to a school even this fiscal year, that's when the reimbursement rate is going to come into play, where we would have to give back some of the funding that we had gained because students would be pursuing a charter school education. The other things we're looking at is both for Medicaid and SNAP. SNAP is a program that supports kids in their nutritional needs. Both of these programs in the next 10 years, there's a fairly substantial reduction. I think it was 15% over 10 years. How that's going to impact us, and again, it's largely unknown, but we'll have families that will lose those benefits this year. And so I think first and foremost, you worry about students, families who are impacted by the change in how you can be eligible for these programs. And then it'll have a definite but unclear impact on school funding. If we have less students that are eligible for Medicaid, those are less students who potentially could agree to allow us to put in for Medicaid services. And, that's we get over $1 million in Medicaid reimbursement every year. And so that's something we'd have to watch closely again as we move forward. Obviously primarily concerned about the impact on the actual kids, but also just kind of recognizing that there's potentially going to be a budgetary impact moving forward. So those are the issues that we're aware of at this time. It's actually good timing. Myself and Dr. Kroll are going to be attending the Mass Superintendent's Conference down the Cape for the next 3 days, and so I do anticipate that we'll have some updates at that time, and certainly we'll bring them to the committee. I also shared in the superintendent's report, we had gotten an update from DESE in terms of the grants, and another update in terms of the state budget, and generally we'll be passing those along to the committee so people feel like they're apprised of what's going on. I feel like we're in a decent spot. I do worry about the long-term implications of some of these policy changes, but in terms of next year, I think both myself and Director Grise feel like we're going to be okay. We're certainly not at a point where we feel like we're going to be looking at reduction of staff or unintended projects that we can't see through. But it's a big deal, and we're going to have to continue to watch it closely. So, I don't know, through the chair, if anybody has any questions or requests for additional information that we can put together for people moving forward.
I have a question. You had mentioned in the first slide that, can you go back to the first slide for a moment?
Oh,
Sorry, thank you. So the Chapter 70, about $500,000 increase coming to us. And then in the second slide, you saw some places where there was a reduction. We have previously approved that we would take Chapter 70 funds and offset the town assessments. But how does that calculus work if we are also eating some reductions in grant funding from the feds? Is that, are we going to offset some of those reductions before we send that money back to the towns? What is the plan, I guess, and maybe that's to be determined?
Yeah, I think that's a conversation for school committee to have at this table. I think we have confidence, right, with the circuit breaker changes and then the increase in, I think the district, even if the committee voted to, say, use the entire $500,000 to reduce town assessments, the district also got an additional, I'm going to say about $55,000, Michelle. And then the other thing, what we can't figure out right now is if we think, based on my conversation with Michelle today, that the cherry sheet includes the veto package where Governor Healy increased the charter school reimbursement funding, but we're not positive. And so that's a piece. It's at least $50,000. It may be a little bit more. However, what I will say is our increase in circuit breaker reimbursements, so what we'll realize, but by these changes, I think we have confidence that it will make up at a minimum what we're going to potentially lose in the grants if a worst case scenario happened. And so I think with these changes in the state budget, although we'll be impacted negatively by the changes in the grants, and I think it's an unknown in terms of the Medicaid and SNAP, what the impact is on us budgetarily moving forward, particularly in our reimbursements next year. I think we have confidence that we're at least a level with these changes in the budget. Would you say that's accurate, Michelle?
Yes. Thank you.
No, it's a great question.
Member Brennan had a question.
Yeah. Sorry.
You're cutting out, Jana.
Can you hear?
Good.
Try again.
Can you hear me?
Now, yeah, right now.
Okay. I was just curious, for breaker is part of what you have in there, is that by 25, the extra FY? Or is that separate?
You're cutting in and out, so we can't really,
I think I know what
do you know?
was asking.
Okay, see if Tim knows what you're
I
asking.
think I know what you're asking.
what
I know
you're
enough to
Phones.
say,
It's-
Michelle, can you help us? I think what she's asking is, does it include, we had gotten money early? And how will it be calculated for this fiscal year?
So the reimbursement that we're getting two pieces, they adjusted from 44 to 47%. That will be reimbursement for FY '24 circuit breaker that we would have to use at that time. We're nowhere near our circuit breaker max anyway. And then
Right.
also adjusted like 458,000, but when it got to the 75%, ends up being about 458,000, but they're actually including that because we're getting it in FY '26 is like an FY '26 or an FY '25 reimbursement.
Okay. Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. So, yep.
Yeah, my question, I guess, this is very speculative, but Holden is one of 14 communities across the state that has refused to or is dragging its feet on approving the MBTA Act, and I'm sure you've probably all heard about this. And the state is threatening to withhold certain funds from the communities that are doing so. So I was wondering if you had any idea which grants those might be and how many, if any, affect our schools.
It's a great question, and I don't.
Yeah.
You know, we don't,
know.
yeah.
And I'm wondering, Bill, but I'm guessing right now. I would hope that they wouldn't impact a regional school district because one town of 5
Yeah.
was, if they felt like they were out of compliance with this grant, but I don't know that answer. Again, it's actually decent timing. That's something I can write down and see if I can run across somebody in the state at the conference I'm going to and
Yeah,
ask some of those
right.
questions and get that information to you.
Good, thank you.
Member Gustafson.
I guess it's just a question for future. Given the possible reduction in the Medicaid, that actually is very concerning to me. I know it's not affecting this year, hopefully. I mean, they kind of are doing random weird things. Every week there's something new, so hopefully they won't change that. But I guess I'm wondering if they're reducing SNAP and they're reducing Medicaid, and those are things that are going to impact our families more. I guess I'd, at some point, appreciate some kind of update about how we're going to be supporting those families and if that's going to have a cost. I know we can't pinpoint and say, yes, we're going to do this and this, but I know there's things we've tried to do in the past to encourage families and to support families who can't afford different things in the district. And I guess I wonder if this is a widespread impact. I'd be curious to hear from, just in general, if there's any costs that we anticipate maybe being associated with that. And I know we don't know yet, but at some point in the future, I guess I'd like to know how we're supporting those families and if it is an impact on our budget.
Yeah, it's a good discussion for when we have numbers and if those.
Yeah,
I think the first piece that's going to help us is knowing how the state's going to handle it. One thing that we have a benefit to is that we do offer universal lunch now.
Yes.
And so one of the things you also have to watch is, and the state will have to figure out, is how does this impact our families who are directly certified, so they count in our, they count for our, one of our indicators in
Yeah.
terms of our budget,
It affects our reimbursement rates.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And really what we get for funding. So I do feel like, and I point to the governors, including the charter school. I think she's been on it. And I think, I haven't heard a plan articulated, but I think it was so nobody was expecting, at least the grant stuff. I mean, it came out literally June 30th. And so, as soon as we get some information from them, I'm happy to share with the committee, and we can have a better understanding as how it's going to impact families. Some of these things, in terms of the SNAP and the Medicaid, have to do with people, things that they may have to do to continue to receive the funds, so whether it's work obligations or other things, and it's hard to tell what that impact's going to be without maybe having gone through it a little bit. But I would share with you that, I think I particularly worry about times when kids aren't in school.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we always know we can get them two meals when they're here with us. And when situations like this
Lunches.
happen, I worry more about school breaks and other things where we may not have, kids don't have the traditional needs to maybe have food at that time.
I mean, that was one of my thoughts, because I know during the pandemic, we did summer lunches, but the state and federal government were funding that, and as soon as that federal funding dried up, we were no longer eligible because we don't have enough kids in that situation, and we were back to the old times. And so I wonder about things like that, and also things like, all the little extras that we have, sports fees and this fee and that fee, and I know we as a district try to pay attention to that and kids who can't pay for it, but I worry there might be a lot of kids that fall through the cracks, especially in our district, where we already know that there are a lot of kids that do fall through the cracks because people don't think of Wachusett as a district with families that even have these programs and need them, and we do. We're like 20-25% as a district, and so I just want to make sure that we're not. I know you as an administration definitely have this in your sights. I just want to make sure we don't lose sight of it as that changes. So, thank you.
Member Brennan?
Thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to also point out that the Medicaid changes aren't slated to start taking effect till 2028, as far as I know. So I think that, there's the potential that even if they kick in, it might not be a long-term issue, depending on what's happening at the federal level. So I feel like we do have a little bit of time on that area.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments on that financial portion? No? We moving on to website update. Director Sklar?
Before Barry starts, I do want to say thank you to Barry.
He's done an awful lot of work partnering with Final Site and doing a lot of work to load it. I think it was December when he came in, and we had started meeting with Final Site or looking at potential website developers, I think last spring. But he came in December and he said, all right, I think we should do this. And really, beginning in the spring, started working very hard to try to make this as seamless as possible. And it is a lot of work. I know it's a lot of work. I haven't had to do a thing. So I just want to thank Barry for leading that charge and loading it up. We're excited about a lot of the possibilities of what this can mean for the district and, most importantly, our families and students in terms of getting information out there. So thank you, Barry.
All right, let's not oversell it. So first, I apologize in advance to Bill, who has graciously volunteered to try to follow my directions clicking on things. Is the best way I could figure out how to do this. And I apologize to you guys in advance in case this is just a jumbled mess. So, my presentation, that is. I thought about over the weekend the best way to kind of like logically walk everybody through this, and I came up with absolutely nothing useful. So, we're just going to try it. So, the page pop, if anybody's visited the website, you've seen it. And so that's basically our way of apologizing if things aren't completely done yet, because they're not. The site is probably somewhere in the 90 to 95% completion area, but this is like when you move into a new apartment or a house and then you have people over right away and like everything looks pretty good, but you don't want anybody to look at anything too close because yeah, you're not sure. So yeah, you could go ahead and close that, Bill. So I'm just going to start at the top. So that black bar at the very top, this is the district navigation bar, and it's going to be on every site. And if you see those little icons in the upper left, Facebook and YouTube icons, those are indicate, and you don't have to click any, Bill, but that's the district's Facebook page and the district's YouTube channel, which has all of these awesome recordings on it. And then each school will have whatever social media channels they use will be linked up there. And then also you'll see later on in the footer. And then on the far right, there's a schools drop-down. So on any of our sites, you can navigate to any other school using that drop-down menu, which is right. You can click it just to open it. All right, good, then close it. Okay, so this banner at the top, the white portion, this is, every school is going to have their logo and their name there. And then to the right, there's some customization that is possible that is going to be a little bit different on every site, most likely. You see where we have the ELE department link and then the Contact Us button. There's going to be, basically, we're going to work with the schools to see, like, hey, what do you want that easy button to be? Yeah, we've already determined for the high school it's going to be their morning announcements, because that's something that they update every day and used to be right on the front page of their site. There's also the ability to make little menus, little drop-down menus, like where that ELE department link is. And those will, again, probably take shape as we start to use the sites a little bit more and the school administrators get more involved in what their specific sites are doing. For now, a lot of the design is minimized. So some schools, we don't have anything activated on that upper right. We just have the little search icon. And that's because we haven't determined what should go up there yet, but that'll build itself out. I mean, it won't build itself out, but we'll build that out in time for school to start. Then moving to the blue menu bar. When we took on this project, there was a couple of things that we were focused on. And basically, when people come to our site, it's not like Facebook or something. They're not coming to like browse and look around and have a good time. They already know what they're after most of the time, and so they just need to be able to find it quickly. And so they're looking for information, usually specific information, and that type of information kind of comes in two flavors. One is, like, for lack of a better word, static, like the school calendar, contact information, bus information, the lunch menu, student handbooks, stuff like that that's going to be posted all year, and they just need to find it easily. So for that type of information, we focused on making this menu structure, with the exception of the high school that has a lot more complicated website, but for the K-8 schools, these menus are going to be, like, Bill, if you just hover over the For Parents menu, almost this entire menu and all of the pages under it are going to be identical on every website, and the contents of those pages are going to be controlled by me. So, like, the schools don't have to update. If we want to put a special note on the bus info page, I just have to do it at the central office. And then that content is automatically shared to those pages on all the other sites. So that's one of the really cool features of the new platform that makes that kind of stuff really easy. And then, so another example is, like, Bill, if you hover over the calendars menu, on every site you're going to have the academic year calendar, then the couple of translations that we always post, then the event calendar in schools. That's going to be the same on every website. What's going to be different is the event calendar will have events specifically to the school that you're on if you're on a website, plus the district calendar layered together. So we'll take a look at those later. But that's just an example. So then there'll be parts where, you know, obviously there's going to be places where schools need to have some specific information that they control, but and that's great, and we're going to have that. But the important thing is, if a parent comes to a website at any of our schools looking for a school calendar, they're going to go to the exact same place they do no matter what site they're on. Same thing for that other information I talked about. So that's that kind of static info that people want to be able to find quickly. Bill, if you just scroll down a little bit to below that picture. Yep, so then we have the quick links bar. And this is, again, a way to make it real easy for people to quickly identify some stuff that they might be after right off the bat. Right now, similar to the way we did that top header where things aren't like really customized yet, this is just a kind of a generic button bar layout with the things that, it matches up to a lot of the button bars on our, a lot of the buttons on our previous site. But there might be, based on the school or the grade level or something, some slightly different quick links that make more sense based on the school. But right now, all the sites have exactly the same buttons. That I'm just saying that might be something we change as we go through. Then, the other type of information is the timely stuff, the announcements. And this has always been kind of a weakness in our website because our home pages were difficult for like non-experts to post something really easy that's eye-catching in a hurry, and so you guys might have noticed that our home pages, that main body of our home pages on the old site varied wildly from one school to the next about how it was laid out and what was there. And so that was a real weakness, and that was the biggest thing that we wanted to improve with these websites. And how that turns out is this news and announcements panel. So right below that picture in the button bar in the header, the news and announcements panel will show up for every school. And what's really cool about this is these are articles that I added to the district news and announcements page. So these are called posts. And then when I configured the announcements pages for all the other schools, I set it up so that if we post something on the district site and we tag it to also be posted on all the school sites or just elementary sites or just the high school site, it will also show up on those sites. So what will happen is, no matter what school you go to, if there's district-wide information, and all of these top three are all articles that we push to, now maybe not MyCap for elementary. Anyway, I'm going to show you what that looks like in a minute. But more importantly, for the people in the schools, these posts are super easy to publish. You put in a title, you put in a description, links if you have them, you pick a picture and you publish it, and it shows up shaped really nice on this panel. And then so when a school has a dance or something that's timely, that like go to our website for more information, it should be hitting people right in the face now, whereas they used to maybe scroll down a whole list of important things that ended up being a list of 50 things that you had to read text for. So this is I think, a really nice improvement. We've already had a couple of schools post things, so I can show you what that looks like in a minute with the blended content. But for now, we'll scroll down a little bit further to the upcoming events. So the rest of this page, well, I should say, all of the school websites, the homepage is exactly like this. These panels in this order with this content, sometimes with content specific to the school. So this is just, the upcoming events, and that links with the calendar. That's the event calendar that I showed you earlier. And this is where we start to get into, I don't know how to explain this stuff to people in a clear way, but if you had a mouse, you'd figure it out quickly. Scroll down a little more, Bill. Right now, the vision panel we have exactly the same on every site. Maybe if schools have a cool motto they want to put there or something, that's fine, and maybe we'll do that by school. But right now, it's all the same. But I think we'll have a link to the strategic plan on every page right in that spot. And further down, we have an infographic, just little factoids about the district. Just a nice way to look like your site's doing more than it is. And then all the way down is the footer. So there are those social media links again, the school contact information. And then there are also rows of footer links that can be customized down here. Again, if you want to put another place where, there's something that you don't want people to miss. We just turned them all off because we don't want them to be yet, but we can put a whole bunch of links down here. And so, maybe you have something that's so important that you want it to be a call to action button and maybe a quick link button, and maybe you also want to put it in the footer. We'll just have a lot of places to give a lot of avenues for people to get at things. So that's the home page. So Bill, if you click on the schools menu and go to the high school's website, Look at this guy go. All right. So, these page pops too, they call it the page pop, that little alert that comes up. Something that this site does that our previous site didn't do is we can set those to open on specific pages only. So if you're going to the athletics page, fall signups, your deadline, whatever. So that's kind of cool too. It was all or nothing on the old site. It was just going to pop up like it is now on any page. So scroll down a bit, Bill. Let's get to the news and announcements. So there's the example. That new student orientation post is something that the high school put up, and it's there among the stuff that we posted at the district level. So there it is in action. All of the pages from our previous site have been migrated to this site. We're trying to organize the content a little bit better, and we're also trying to go through it and make sure that everything's relevant and up to date. And we found some stuff that had been neglected for a long time on certain sites, and we're cleaning that up as we go. But there's a little more work to do with that, but I think by and large, what you're looking at now is essentially what we'll have going forward. I think that's about all I have to show you today. Maybe the calendar. So Bill, go back up to the top. So that calendar menu, like I was saying, you hover over it, there's the same thing. So if you click on the event calendar, Bill, so this is where, if you don't show this again, it will not show it to you again. Okay, so if you scroll down a bit, so, look at all the stuff happening. So it is August. Why is that on August? Go back to July. Don't tell me I didn't do this calendar. See, this is that thing. It's the left arrow right next to August.
You're going to lose me.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so we do have some. So at least the district events are showing up. Scroll down a little more. Just want to make sure there's stuff on this calendar. There isn't. All right, great. All right, good night, everybody. No, so again, this will be a combination of district events that we put on the district website calendar, and then each school will have their own events layered on it as well. And I'm toying with the idea that some people have asked for over the years that doesn't probably make any sense, but it might be fun to try, is a mega calendar that has every school all in one place with the ability to turn them on and off. I'm just trying to figure out how to present that, but I think we're going to play around with that. And people have asked for like everything in the district calendar, which is going to be like 75 events a day once we're in the school year. But it'll be fun to find out. We'll play around with that. Also at the top of the event calendar, we always scroll up a little bit, Bill. So I have right there the printable, in case people end up in the wrong place, so the printable academic year calendar, and then the 2 translations is there at the top also, so that hopefully, the academic calendar is one of the most commonly accessed things on our site, so I'm trying to make sure people don't miss it. But one more thing is the search. Bill, if you click on that little search, that little magnifying glass, yep. This search works really well. If you click, oh God, what's going to be on the high school site? How about, yeah, you're from the high school. Okay, scroll down. You have results. Well, now it does have that new student orientation right there from the homepage. So the search works really nice. It points you directly. You link. Bill's search was a little weird, but he's an HR guy. He used to be a principal at this. Scroll. Yeah. See the don't show. Scroll down, Bill. Look there he is. Student handbook. Good job. So this search works a lot better than the search on our old site, I can tell you. And I think that's pretty much everything I have to show you. Any questions? Yes.
Did you have maybe you did on the previous website, was there the RSS feed for the calendar? Because I think that's very useful.
Yeah, the previous site didn't have it.
It didn't have it.
This one is a Google Calendar. Oh, there's a checkbox. I can turn it on.
No, it's there.
Oh, it is there. Okay,
Go
yeah.
back. So I just wanted to show people because I think it's amazing that that's there.
Oh, okay, yeah. Go to the event calendar, Bill.
Yeah. And then the little guy down.
If you just click don't.
He likes it.
Is that what you wanted to see?
No.
Well, so whenever that pop-up comes, at the bottom, it says, "Don't show again," so you don't have to.
It's all right, Bill. It's okay, Bill.
See that little gray?
Yeah, so over to the right, there's a little blue filter box. You can click that one first. And so this would be like, click it. So this would be like when we do the mega calendar, you can select whatever calendars you want to all layer in there, and that's cool. So then click cancel there, Bill. And then we were looking for the RSS, which is that little box next to it. Yep,
And you can
This
add
is
it.
so that you can add district calendar to yours.
Sweet.
I think that's the biggest part for me, is because I know there's people who are interested in our meetings, there's people who are interested in athletics and other things, so like, I live by my Google Calendar and things being uploaded onto it, so that's amazing. So thank you. Anything else? Laura?
Just a couple of questions I have, or maybe just one big question, is that as we are getting familiar with this, if we see something that doesn't quite seem to be right, for example, the school choice information on the news and announcements, I don't see on every single school page. So if we see something like that, what's the best avenue to provide?
I would say in the short term, just email me directly.
Okay.
Because I'm still kind of doing this. So I have through the chair. So the school choice thing is interesting because we're only opening seats at the high school now. I thought maybe it didn't make sense to put it like on the elementary school sites, the school choice news item. So that's kind of like a style choice. I'm not sure. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't want someone going to the Davis Hill site and saying, "Oh, school choice," and then.
Good point, good point.
Yeah,
So I had it on just high school.
true. I had somebody online, Member Brennan, then Member Gustafson, and Member,
And Jamie.
and, oh, so it was Jamie? Okay, Member Winters?
Hi, thanks.
Yep.
Great job, Mary. This looks awesome. It looks super user-friendly. I was taking a peek at the Houghton one while you were kind of doing, well, Bill was doing the tour, and he did a great job, too. Great job, Bill. I just had a question, because you did mention something about schools having capabilities. So will there be like an administrator at each of the schools that would be creating content or posting content on their behalf? Or, I mean, I would hope you're certainly not going to be the one that's updating all of this for everyone.
Yeah, there's like a designee at each school who kind of takes charge of their portion of the website, and I think going forward, a lot of that will just be creating those news posts, so it should be less of a hassle for those people too.
That sounds good. And one recommendation that I would make, just only I think for selfish reasons for myself, is a quick link to the lunch menu. I know when I go to my
Oh, is it not there? Oh, Deb.
That's usually, or the little icons that you had.
Yes.
Typically, when I go to the website, because I need to look at what's from.
100% agree. That's
That's just a selfish ask,
Yeah.
but great job. It looks awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah. Member Gustafson?
Thank you. I need to say how excited I am about this. This is just brilliant, and I love to hear the things you still have in progress, so thank you. I love that it takes some of the workload from it makes it easier for our staff as well in our different schools, and makes it easier for people to find out what's going on in the whole district. And it's just, I can't say enough good things. I do have one question. I know we have in the calendar, we have translations in 2 languages. I'm sure this is the case, but I wanted to clarify, is the entire website compatible with like Google Translate or other apps, as well as reader apps that people with disabilities might use?
Yes. So Final Site has a built-in compatibility checker for the screen readers, and then the site is totally compatible with Google Translate. We are looking into a translation tool an enhanced translation tool that Final Site offers. We haven't dug too deeply into that, but that's also on our to-do list.
Okay.
It's one of the benefits of it, is the accessibility
love
features.
that,
It also is more phone-friendly, right, Barry?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Oh, Bill, no, I don't, hold on.
Uh-oh. Did it freeze?
Lauren, do you have me?
What?
Do you have
Oh,
me?
thanks.
So we can kind of simulate it. So you can, see, so it sort of automatically reflows on whatever cells.
So if you use a phone, it's
I love it so much.
So yeah, they're
Beautiful.
their template designs are all, they basically had to design it for the phone first and then stretch it outward.
Love it.
Thank you. That's all I needed to know. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Member Wallace, I think was
My
next.
only question is that I went through a couple of them. Are the principals going to be responsible for taking off old content? I know that there's newsletters in there from 2020. There's still newsletters in
That's
there
not
from...
the oldest stuff I found.
There's still
No,
newsletters from me, from Dawson, so I just was wondering...
well, we're keeping those.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, that's,
More? I was just asking, like...
no,
okay,
no,
you
that's
delete
still,
that stuff. Is-
that's still work in my office.
Okay.
I don't want to, that's our job to do, so we'll take care of that.
Member Morrison.
I was just curious, on some of the schools, there's a Power School link in the for parents, and on other schools, there are not.
Still going through, so that, when I bragged about all the menus being exactly the same, they're not the same yet, but they're going to be. So we'll get to all the schools.
Do you want me to tell you if I find a typo? Just
Absolutely. Anything that needs correction, if you want to run it by me, please do, because it's just been a constant fever dream of website. Is that it?
Can I ask him one more?
Yep.
Barry, the other thing I know, I don't know if you mentioned or things, there's also potentially, right, with the website, that there'll be some social media, you can push from the website to social media
Yeah.
as well.
And I'm not really prepared to talk about that now, but we also have the same company has the communication tool that we're also migrating to. And that has some send everywhere. Anyway, they've got integration so that when we send messages out through Final Site Messenger, it can be posted to our social media and to the website. So we only had training number 1 on the messages so far, but yes, there's a lot of integration with that kind of
And
stuff.
I didn't mean to catch you off guard, I just wanted to say, like, that capacity's
I need
Just more and more
better than
work.
Bill. That capacity's
like
exciting.
that looks great, but is there anything else it does? Can't you? Okay.
I just have one
Yep,
more
one
comment,
more.
Barry. I think it's amazing, and if you need assistance, I'm happy to help in any way. This
All
is
right.
my background as well, so I just put it out there if you need assistance.
All right, thanks.
At all? Thank you, Director Sklar. Does anyone have any questions on anything else in the superintendent's report, including anything that we'll be voting on in the 2 consent agendas later? Yep, Member Kirschenbaum?
So in your report, you spoke about the curriculum update and the STAR results. I feel like that was kind of a buried lead here, is that there's quite a bit of progress being made in the district with regard to the math and the English. And I'm just wondering if there is a correlation, or if anyone has done any correlation between the students who attended the ESY program last year and the progress being made. And I'm just wondering, like, so we can look at making targeted improvements for ESY moving forward, if any are being identified, so that we can make it even more robust.
Yeah, actually, CPAC had sent me an email this morning, and I actually had responded to them earlier this evening. I think one of the things that we need to get better about is when we share data to segregate it and make sure we're sharing it for populations that are at risk or, typically may not have been reported to school committee. I think especially when we look at things like, 2 of our greatest challenges in district beyond, I think we need to improve everywhere. But when I look at special education, and then I look at our high needs group, which is English learners, low socioeconomic, and in our special education, we need to start drilling down and offering that. I owe, and a lot of the stuff I would hope people know, and if you don't, then I apologize if it hasn't been more clear. A lot of the things in the superintendent's report, I have guest writers, and in this case, Laura DeRose had put this together for us in the curriculum department. But I thought that was good feedback from CPAC, and I think your idea is a good one as well. I think we have to continue to look at data and what it might indicate. I think we're excited about the STAR because, first of all, it's aligned more to the state assessments now that they've made some changes in terms of, what we're setting as benchmarks. But I think it's a good initial indication that hopefully we're starting to make some progress. And I think it is going to be a while, and it will take some time when we look at things like MCAS or other things. But I think as we're sharing it, I agree that we get to apply filters of either ESY or specific targeted groups that we're sharing all the data and become. I was thrilled that she put it together. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even ask her to do it. Laura just did it. And so I think we certainly will continue to drill down even further and not only do it by group, but then for tasks about, did we make progress in people who attended this program or other things? And so I think it's a good idea. I don't have it right now, but we certainly need to be headed in that direction. I would 100% agree.
Thank you.
Anything else? Nope. Seeing none, we will move on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is our recommendations requiring action by the school committee. First, I will accept a motion to ratify the contract between the WRSD and the Wachusett Regional Paraprofessionals Association.
So moved.
Second.
Shannon and Brett. This was discussed in executive session, so we will move immediately to a roll call vote.
You say Winter?
Yep.
Yes. Member Winters, yes.
Member Wallace?
Wallace, yes.
Member Klein?
Klein, yes.
Member Gustafson?
Gustafson, yes.
Member Beardmore?
Beardmore, yes.
Member Morrison?
Morrison, yes.
Member Brennan?
Brennan, yes.
Member Poole?
Poole, yes.
Member Fisher?
Fisher, yes.
Stoika?
Stoika, yes.
Member Kirschenbaum?
Kirschenbaum, yes.
Member Bovarden?
So, he stepped out.
Municipal Rep Whitman? Whitman, aye. Chair Salmon?
And the chair votes yes, and the motion passes. Oops. Next, I will accept a motion to approve the reappointment of Michelle A. Grisey as Director of Business and Finance.
So moved.
Second.
Wallace and Poole. Is there any discussion on this reappointment? Member Kirschenbaum?
I'd just like to say that Michelle has been a very valuable member of the team and has done some pretty amazing work in her tenure at this time, really kind of righting the ship financially for us. And so I just want to take a moment to thank you for that good work. And I think that I want to thank you for wanting to continue with this organization, and I'm glad that we're moving forward with a contract for you.
Did you? Yes. Oh, yep.
Can
Member
I-
Gustafson?
Sorry, I didn't want to jump in. I also want to say similar, but I've worked closely with Michelle in a number of, or actually her whole tenure happened while I was on Business and Finance, and I've worked with her predecessors, and so I think I have a good picture of, as much as we can as school committee members, the financial, I don't want to call it a mess, but the financial situation that she stepped into and all that she has had to untangle, and has done it, not only untangled it, but improved systems and implemented a lot of things that were recommended to us with consultants, and dealt with changes in treasurers and a lot of things that have come our way from state and federal funding. And I cannot say thank you enough, but also just really wanted to recognize, I mean, there really aren't words for the mess that she stepped into, but I've worked with Business and Finance for 6 years, not this year, but until recently, and there truly has been a huge transformation in our systems, our processes, how we get things done, the fact that our budget is up to date, and we're actually finishing it on time. We know how much money we have. I mean, I can't overstate the work that you've done to change our district and how we operate, so thank you.
Thanks. Member Brennan.
Just along all those lines, obviously, everyone knows how much I love working with Director Grisey, but also because of all those things, I think she's getting recognition even outside of our district, as we know with the MASBO Rising Star. So I am thrilled that we get to keep this Rising Star with us and within our district. And just to point out that everything Michelle does for us during budget season, she does it times 5. She works with 5 different towns and goes to all those meetings, plus extras that they ask for, and really has built some great relationships with our towns. And I just feel very thankful that we have her and we get to continue working with her, hopefully.
Great, thanks. Yep, Member Fisher.
Before I became an actual member of the school committee, I used to attend a lot of the school committee meetings, and at one point we were given, I believe it was a draft of the budget, and the line items were explained, and this is my my introduction to the Wachusett Regional School District's budget, and I actually could follow it. Which I thought was amazing. It was so carefully prepared and so clear that even a total novice could, I can't say that I understood it in great depth, but that it was very clearly developed, and I think that says something. So.
Great, thanks. And with that, I'm very happy to move on to a roll call vote.
Member Kirschenbaum?
Kirschenbaum, yes.
Member Gustafson?
Gustafson, yes.
Member Winters?
Winters, yes.
Member Beardmore?
Beardmore, yes.
Member Borison?
Borison, yes.
Member Gavarden?
Gavarden, yes.
Member Klein?
Klein, yes.
Member Stoika?
Stoika, yes.
Member Brennan?
Brennan, yes.
Member Poole?
Poole, yes.
Member Fisher?
Fisher, yes.
Member Wallace?
Wallace, yes.
Salmon Euro?
Chair Salmon votes yes, and the motion passes. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle. Next is the consent agenda for the Secretary's report. Item 5 is being removed from the consent agenda because the date in question is actually a special town election in Paxton and not a special town meeting, so we're not required by our bylaws to change that meeting date, so we will be removing that, and there will be no change to the September date in the calendar at this time. Before I accept a motion, does anyone want anything else removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none, I will read the motion. I will now accept a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes the following motions. To approve the executive session minutes of May 21st, 2025. To approve the regular meeting minutes of June 23rd, 2025. To approve the executive session minutes of June 23rd, 2025. To accept $1,000 from the Sterling Lions Club to the Wachusett Leo Club. To approve expenses incurred for Superintendent Riley to attend the November 12th through 14th, 2025 MASC-MASS Joint Conference in Hyannis, Massachusetts. And to approve expenses incurred for Member Gustafson and Member Stoika to attend the July 19th, 2025 MASC Summer Institute Collective Bargaining Boot Camp. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And Wallace? And we'll move to a roll call vote. Wallace.
Member Stoika?
Stoika, yes.
Member Brennan?
Brennan, yes.
Member Poole?
Poole, yes.
Member Winters?
Winters, yes.
Member Wallace?
Wallace, yes.
Member Gustafson?
Gustafson, yes.
Member Fisher?
Fisher, yes.
Member Kirschenbaum?
Kirschenbaum, yes.
Member Klein?
Klein, yes.
Member Borison?
Borison, yes.
Member Gavarden?
Gavarden, yes.
Member Beardmore?
Beardmore, yes.
Chair Salmon Euro?
The chair abstains, and the motion passes. Next up is committee business. There are There is a motion to refer 2 policies to the Facilities and Security Subcommittee. The rationale to refer these motions to Facilities and Security is the same. The age of the policies warrant thorough review, and the facilities-specific details mean that it will be best discussed at this subcommittee with Facilities Director Mark Wild. Does anyone want either of the items removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none, I will now accept a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes the following motions: to refer policy 7142, policy relating to support operations, energy efficient equipment, to the Facilities and Security Subcommittee, and to refer policy 7143, policy relating to support operations, energy management conservation policy, to the Facilities and Security Subcommittee.
So moved.
Poole and
Second.
Poole and Kirschenbaum. And it's time for a roll call vote.
Member Gustafson?
Gustafson, yes.
Member Morrison?
Morrison, yes.
Member Gavarden?
Gavarden, yes.
Member Fisher?
Fisher, yes.
Member Wallace?
Wallace, yes.
Member Winters?
Winters, yes.
Member Klein?
Klein, yes.
Member Brennan?
Brennan, yes.
Member Stoika?
Stoika, yes.
Member Beardmore?
Beardmore, yes.
Member Kirschenbaum?
Kirschenbaum, yes.
Member Poole?
Poole, yes.
Chair Semigiri?
The chair abstains and the motion passes. The treasurer's report is in your packets. Questions about the treasurer's report should be directed to the Business and Finance Subcommittee. Questions about financial statements should be directed to the Business Director. Next on the agenda is subcommittee reports. First up is Business and Finance. Member Brennan?
Hi, Business and Finance met on Monday, July 7th. We reviewed the treasurer report in your packet, as well as the FY25 monthly budget report also in your packet. Fiscal year 25 is looking in good shape for closing out, so many thanks again to Director Grisey. We discussed the FY26 update that was in the superintendent's report. We went over how we would like to address things for the year in business and finance. And then we discussed a number of policies, some that were approved by school committee last year that we didn't get to, so we put those on our calendar. And we also started discussing some other policies that we might bring to the full school committee for some work. And that is pretty much what we discussed.
Great. Thank you. Next up is Policy Subcommittee. Member Beardmore?
The policy subcommittee has not met since the last full meeting. We'll meet Thursday, the 17th.
Great. Thank you.
Yep.
Next is Legal Affairs with Member Runstrom not here. Does anybody have a report? No?
I was not at the last meeting.
Okay. Okay.
It was,
I know he was discussing scheduling another meeting, so,
yeah.
okay. Next up is Superintendent Goals and Evaluation Subcommittee. Member Dubois is not here. Does anyone have a report?
We have not met since
Okay.
this time.
Thank you. Facilities and Security Subcommittee. Member Poole.
Yep, so we met on July 1st. We elected our vice chair, Member Gavarden. We discussed the summer building tours, which are coming up in a couple weeks. We reviewed a couple policies that we'd like to review, and those are the ones we just had the motion on. And then we have we're going to be reviewing the capital improvement plan at our next meeting. And then we'll also be reviewing the maintenance, lease, and regional agreements coming up in October. And I think that's at our next meeting is August 5th.
Great. Thank you. There are no updates for the Audit Advisory Board at this time. Next is the CPAC Liaison Report. Member Wallace?
Yeah, we have not met since this past spring. I did email them, the CPAC committee today, in regards to potential dates moving forward for my calendar and for Scott's calendar.
Okay, great. Thanks. That's it for subcommittee reports. Next is new business. Does anyone have any new business? Any ideas for new business should be sent to the chair with a rationale for its addition on a future agenda. And at this time, with all business on the agenda being completed, this meeting is adjourned.